this. You're all going to get a nice little extra thing since you're here live. So if you guys can read in the chat, oh, that's not formatted correctly, so it looks like a lot of nonsense, but we're going to go through it together, okay? I got some housekeeping to go through. If anyone's watching us on recording, please stick around for some of this because I will answer some questions that I've been getting from multiple people this week, okay? Number one question I've gotten from everyone is, what about cardio? Okay, what about cardio? Every time somebody asks me, I ask them a question in return, which is essentially, what are you trying to get out of cardio? And most of the time, the only legitimate answer I get from a slew of answers, and I say this with love, is it's a meditative time for themselves to be doing cardio, right? It's just monostructural. You just get out of all the stuff and you just focus on one little thing. That's the best reason for you to do cardio. Go do it. Steady state cardio, whatever you want. That's awesome, okay? As far as the actual health benefits, the cardiovascular increase, the capacity increase, that's all built into your programming, okay? If you guys think about it, steady state, which is 75% heart rate for long durations of time, is actually the best way to build your cardiovascular capacity. And if you look at a physical fitness training session, that's a weird term, but if you look at your strength training session, your heart rate's in that percentage pretty much the whole time because it's kind of dipping up and around that, especially if you are adhering to rest times. And of course, I put in extra stimuli throughout the movements, throughout the week. It gets more intense. Don't worry. I'm just trying to make a full-bodied program that's catered to all levels of fitness right now. For transition into the next question here. Wow, this is hard to read. I should go back to my sheet. Safe movements. Somebody asked me about safe movements. So the number one and number two things that we can consider when it comes to being safe when you guys move is essentially slowing down, being intentional, right? Listening to your body. I know that sounds like general overview nonsense, but sincerely, are you paying attention? Because if your body's saying, ouch, that's how it speaks to you. And you need to listen and respect that, okay? Number one thing I can recommend when your body says ouch is replicate the movement pattern without the ouch. Let's say you're trying to do some shoulder raise and there's an ouch. Well, can you move your arm a little bit to the side and continue the same shoulder raise without the ouch? Do more of those, okay? And that's like the doctor, it hurts when I touch here, don't touch it. I know, but that's what we're gonna do for now, okay? The second piece to that is what we're gonna teach you, what I'm gonna teach you tonight. And it's basically having movement options. This music is weird. I feel like I'm in a spa. It's basically like having movement options, right? If you can't go somewhere, you can't go there. So we talk about this in like higher level personal training nerd talk, which is like, you can't go where you can't go. If you cannot bring air into a portion of your body and expand the tissues, you can't use those tissues. And if a movement demands that you get in there, you can't. Make sense? So we need to find ways for you to actually get in there, okay? Well, more on this tonight. This is what this class is all about. Rest periods do matter. Every single one of you, I'm sure, I'm assuming, it's not fair. A lot of you are going to say, I don't need to rest 60 seconds. I'm moving on, okay? And I would say, back to you, if you don't need to rest 60 seconds, you're not trying hard enough in that movement. That's it, okay? If you don't at some point feel like, fuck, that's it, I gotta go, you're moving way too fast and you're not trying hard enough. Change the stimuli, work harder. You guys can talk back to me in this, by the way. No problem. There's not too many of us, so don't feel like you have to just type. And feel free, cut me off. Not eating enough throughout the day. This is so bad. Okay, respecting movements, rest periods. Somebody asked me. Somebody made the comment about. Multiple people actually made the comment about not eating enough. And they're like, whoa, I'm actually surprised at how much I'm eating. And this is also an awesome thing that I like teaching with macros. You guys are, pretty much every single one of you is in a deficit. You're eating less than you should be, right? So if you feel like you're eating too much, this is what the whole cycle, the perpetuated problem is, which is I don't eat enough, I don't eat enough, I don't eat enough. And then all of a sudden my body goes, hello, eat some food. And then we go, okay, what's the easiest, highest calorie we can possibly get? Potato chips, fries, whatever. Let's pack it all in these really, really calorie dense, easy to eat things, right? Then we go way overboard, we store and we start the process again. And this is literally what creates these flaccid bodies that we don't like. Okay, because we're going from eating too little to eating too much, storing it and starting the process over. Consistency is the number one thing. And I hate that because for my entire life, it was the most annoying thing ever. But once I figured that out and leaned in, my body changed forever. And I've never had the issue again. You won't either. So just know consistency over all else. That means this is cool. This is not. Hitting protein, I've talked a little bit about that and just making fun of the fact that, you know, there's other things that we way overeat. We got to look at things differently. And of course, every single one of us is after some sort of small change or large change, right? So you have to expect that you're going to do things slightly differently. I suggest starting every single meal with protein. If you're going into a meal and you're like, ooh, I want this and this and this, do it after you've decided what your base of protein is going to be. Does that make sense to all of you guys? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Pancakes for breakfast? Wait, what's the protein first? Eat it first, literally, and then have your pancakes. Because otherwise you're just gonna have 1,000 pancakes, okay? All right, cool. Yes, and Kodiak pancakes are great, but they're also dangerous. And if you eat too much, you feel like a salt lick for the rest of the day. The sodium is through the roof. All right, cool. I think that's all I need to go through for housekeeping. Thank you for your patience. You already know I love to talk. So tonight, hips, okay? That's all we're gonna focus on is the hips. The most important piece is core to extremity, and everything is kind of attached to the hips, right? So if we can focus on pelvic position, we can actually restore a lot of different things. My whole intention tonight is to show you guys where you're limiting, how you're limited, how you're limited, and then fix that with some simple breath work and breathing exercises. That may sound sort of crazy, but it's gonna help a lot, okay? We're gonna test our active straight leg raise, ASLR. We're gonna test our flexion, our femoral internal rotation, and our femoral external rotation. Hi, Christina. We're gonna test all these things. Aaron, if I could see you at some point, that would be amazing because I do wanna give you some feedback since you're here live. Yeah, what's up, man? Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna test all those things. I need you guys to understand that you're not gonna understand the nuance and minutia of the tests just by doing it. You're gonna be thinking about it so much. I'm gonna try my best to give you all, since there's not so many of you, I should be able to give every single one of you some actual feedback in the moment and tell you about it. But what I want you to do is to feel what you're feeling. Where is it tight? Where is it stiff? What feels limited? Where is the limitation for each of these things? And then we're gonna go through this whole thing of pulling you back, and we're gonna retest. And I'm gonna say that all of you are gonna get better. I'm gonna boldly say all of you are gonna get better. All right, we're gonna learn how to breathe without our six-pack muscles, our rectus abdominis. We're gonna incorporate our internal oblique and our hamstrings to pull our pelvis back into position. And then we're gonna go and retest all these things. If we have time at the end, we'll go through ankle cars, hip cars, and then I'll have you guys finish with the toe sit and a lizard. But Jeff and Kevin know I never finish on time, so we'll see. Okay, any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to ask me about housekeeping wise before we move into this stuff? Cool. All right, awesome. Let me go through with you guys what these tests look like, what they are, and then I'll have you do them, okay? So check this out. I need everyone to be able to show me in some way, shape, or form, doesn't have to be perfect, their whole body like this. And don't do it yet because I'm going to show you these tests and then we'll do it, okay? You guys can see basically all of me, right, from head to toe. I'm going to have two different angles, one that's completely parallel to the camera or perpendicular to the camera, and then one that's perfectly the other, right? Okay, something like that. So I can see a top-down view. We're gonna test active straight leg raise, which is kind of like your classic hamstring flexibility test, going straight up. I wanna see it from this way, and I also wanna see it from this way. We're gonna test knee to chest or hip flexion, same deal, this way and the other way. Then we're gonna test external rotation of the femur and internal rotation of the femur. Oh yeah. Okay, those are our tests to begin with. We're gonna highlight lots of problems for y'all, and it's gonna be great fun.
Great.
Okay, cool. So Twos, are you on a camera? I mean, are you
Yeah.
on a cell phone? And Aaron, are you on a cell phone? If
I
you
am.
guys can possibly turn it sideways, I can see a bigger, yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I can see way more because it flips to the whole screen. Twos, yours didn't do it, so go ahead and put it back. Okay, cool. Lying on your backs, position your cameras. Let's get this rocking and rolling. Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, all right. For some of you, your lighting is really tough to see and or just can't see you at all. It's okay. Just kind of go along with what I'm showing you. This is going to be just an overview and trying to kind of open your minds up to this whole thing, okay? Yeah, beautiful. Gwen, that's awesome. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, amazing. So here's what we're doing. We're gonna do active straight leg raise. I want everyone to do it with their left leg first, okay? Left leg first. So left leg, come back down. You're way too fast. Every single one of you is gonna be able to throw your leg up, okay? The faster you go, remember this, speed hides need in lifting and in everything, right? Slow down. I need to see your control, okay? Twos, nice, very nice. So if we think about this, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the cadence, that's the tempo, okay? Very slowly, you guys are gonna move that leg. Come back to the beginning. Let's go toes pointing straight up, so feet are basically together, and then knees are straight, okay? All right, very slowly, we're gonna start with that left leg. Go ahead. Twos, stop, go back down. Christina, stop. Okay, take note of where I said to stop. Cool, I'm gonna just do this one at a time, make this way easier. Okay, Jeff, go, slowly. You guys can relax. I'm just gonna do everyone one at a time, make it way easier. Okay, Jeff, stop. Already extended through the back and that screw home mechanism, remember? So that's about where you're at right now. Cool? Okay, Kevin, go. Anyone watching on recording, you guys can watch each other in this. Kev, come back to the beginning. Let me make sure that that right side is straight. Yeah, lock out the leg. Right there, that's it. Okay, cool. Right about there, maybe even a little lower because of the knee not locking. Christina, go ahead, go slow, left leg. Wait, start over, go right foot straight forward. I'm being really nuanced on purpose, guys. So make sure toes are pointed straight to the ceiling. Knees are straight to the ceiling, sorry. Not dancer, shin, there you go. Beautiful though, beautiful point. Right there, stop. Okay, that's where you're at. I'll explain later. Twos, go. Stop. Twos, you're super extended right there. We'll help, don't worry. Okay, Aaron, go. Stop. A little lower, Aaron. Right about there. Okay, remember that spot. Gwen, go ahead. Okay, go back a little bit more. Yours is tricky. You're an athlete. Go back down. You're sneaking it all the way down. If you guys want to watch along with me, check this out. Watch. Okay, so actually, Gwen, you're already there. I can see the light behind your hamstrings on the ground. So this is telling me that you're already anteriorly tilted forward in the pelvis. But go ahead, go slowly. Right there. Your other leg is starting to lift. Okay, cool. So that's actually where you're at, Glenn. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, amazing. I know that I just opened up like a rude thing. I was just like, okay, all of you suck, and then let's move on. Does anyone kind of understand where we're at currently, what we're looking for? Or is this all like, what the hell? Adam, thank you. Let's go, Adam. Slowly left side. Okay, cool. Come back down, Adam. Again, athlete. So relax. Don't be an athlete. Don't be strong. Just be natural. Be relaxed. Listen to the music. Turn your core off. Be jelly. Right there. Okay, cool. You can keep going. Keep going. See how it feels. It's pretty good. Okay, cool. Amazing. So I don't know if you guys could see, and if anyone's on recording, with Adam, when he started, he had that little gap behind his hamstrings, right? And then as he went up, he straightened his leg with his muscular power, tried to make it better, right? So that's good. That's good. Okay, so let me explain something to you real quick. And then Caitlin, if you are with us, I'd love to see you because we'll take you through this stuff as well. When we're going through these tests, we're looking at your actual mobility, not what you can force into position, which every single one of us can. Oh, okay, I see. Hi, Caitlin. Thank you for joining us. We're looking for what you can passively do, your real mobility, your real range of motion, okay? And in this active straight leg raise, it tells me a ton. If you can't lock out your knee properly, doesn't actually lock without you forcing your quad as hard as you can, then that tells me you don't have internal rotation at your hip and you're missing this screw home mechanism in the knee where it just comes into place, right? So we can get better with that. I know that I'm talking a lot, guys, but I really want you to learn this stuff. If it's overwhelming or whatever, you just tell me. You just tell me to shut up and move on, and I will, okay? But I want to give you as much as I can. When you lift one leg and the other leg does something, that's telling me that that leg actually doesn't like to extend, okay? And that's the most important thing. So if we look at hip extension, right? Hips coming all the way open, there's a difference between hips extending and the low back arching, okay? And if we don't have true hip extension, if the femur doesn't like to go backwards, then we're just gonna arch the back in compensation. That's super common, super common. And for any of my CrossFit friends, that's the #1 reason that everyone fucks themselves in CrossFit. That screws the shoulders, which screws everything. And then we try to put them in overhead squat and it's a train wreck every single time, okay? And then nothing else is wrong with CrossFit. I love it so much. Okay, so I'm kind of serious. It was like my first love of fitness, or one of. Okay, we want to fix this stuff. Let's go to the other side. I'll stop talking and analyzing each and every one of you. I want you to feel what this feels like, but now you're aware of how nuanced I'm being, right? Check your knee, make sure that nothing's happening and lifting and getting weird. And now I want you to do both sides and just go for sensation. Where are you at, right? I told you where to stop on the first side. Go ahead and do the other one. Compare it. So twos, you see how much you're bending your knee? Bent. Yep. It's cool. That's cool. Take note of any of the low back sensations you all have on the floor as well. Does anyone feel like they have to tuck their pelvis a little bit and get their back down so that they're not feeling a little discomfort, right? Yep. Many of us will. That's cool. But take note of these sensations. Another thing to look at, keep going through and alternate left side, right side, okay? Another thing to look at is if you're lifting your left leg up, make sure your right leg doesn't want to spin out. Your toes don't want to spin away from pointing straight up in the sky. Slow that down, Adam. I know every single one of you can get your leg almost perfectly 90 by crunching your back, by bending your other leg. I'm not interested in that. All right, cool. Everybody feel like they'll remember these sensations? Perhaps, kinda. Okay, let's go to knee to chest. So you saw me doing that earlier. We're gonna start on the left leg. You're gonna slowly bring knee up to chest, very slow, and take note of where you start to feel the other leg doing something or the back crunching, okay? Go ahead. Go ahead. You feel that opposite leg lifting off the ground? Yep. Okay, Aaron, do it again, no hands. You feel that other leg lifting off the ground? Yep, that right leg. Yeah, if you have the urge to squeeze your quad and stiffen your bottom leg, your stationary leg, that's a cue that you're trying to lift or you're trying to mitigate the lift. Good, Adam. Okay, look down at your legs now as they come up and notice if your knee wants to move out away from the middle or in towards the middle as you come up. Try not to lift your head too much or support it with your hands. Pretty much every one of us should be able to see the knee coming up, even with our heads down on the ground, just by looking down. I say pretty much everyone. Depends. Okay, Glenn. I'm excited to see our change here. All right, beautiful. Lastly, let's go for femoral internal and external rotation. So every single one of these movements is going to be improved by what I'm going to take you through, and that's why I'm having you test all these things. This one will probably be the one that's most obvious to you guys as far as the change, because you'll be able to see it. All right, so let's do this. Spin so your heads are towards the camera and your feet are down away, or the opposite. Or the opposite is fine. I just want to look down the body, either head to toe or toe to head, whatever you're comfortable with. Get in front of the camera. All right, beautiful. Yep, cool. I will do my best to verbally cue you through this, so you don't have to watch me. Bring that left knee slowly up to chest so that your kneecap is directly above your hip. Okay, cool. Twos, you see how that's flying out to the side?
Yeah, that's my skippy hip.
Cool.
Wants to go that way.
Yep. Okay, awesome. Make sure none of you are crunching your low back into the floor. All right, let there be a natural space back there. Take your right hand and gently place it on the inside border of your left knee. All right, so just reach across and just place it there. I don't need any activity happening from that right hand. It's really just so that you're aware of your knee wanting to escape the hand. So just keep it in that position. And what you're going to do from here is rotate your shin so that you get your ankle to start going out to the left while keeping your knee exactly where it is. How far can you get your lower leg to rotate out to the left while keeping your thigh or your upper thigh pointed up to the ceiling? Okay, this is a big one here. Does anyone feel a pinching or a blocking sensation? Twos does.
Yes. Burns.
Who said it burns? Twos?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, okay. TFL burns?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else feel a pinching or blocking on that side? Okay, cool. Gwen and Adam, make sure that you're not just rotating your ankle, that you're thinking about your entire lower leg, your entire shin moving towards the left of the room. Okay, so watch me for a sec. Imagine my forearm is your shin. I want it to rotate. Oh God, I can't do it that way. I want it to rotate, like the whole lower leg to rotate. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't make sense. Watch this. We want to start here, and we want to rotate the lower leg out as far as we can.
All right, I'm moving to baby.
Make sense? Yeah, exactly. Okay, go slow. Cool. So friends, you just did that side. Thank you for your patience. Do the other side. Check it and see which one is better.
Yep, Heather's good. Heather's conscientious. Heather pays attention.
I muted you, Aaron. So we're just going internal rotation right now, where the ankle's going out from the middle. Okay. Is anyone getting some cramping sensations, some discomfort? Yeah, Glenn. Cool. Feeling that in the front of the hip. Aaron, you getting some cramping?
Feeling it in the ankle.
In the ankle. Okay, so you're trying too hard with your ankle to get it to move. Think about your femur, your upper thigh bone, rotating inside the socket like rotisserie. So when you get up to that position, that thigh bone is vertical, straight up to the sky. Just rotate that thigh bone. Yeah, cool. All right, sweet. Flip it back. Let's go. Let's do it again. We're going to test external rotation. So you're going to go in towards the middle, right? You're going to spin the femur in its hip and rotate the lower leg the other direction. Okay, twos, you see how far away from the midline that is? Start over, ankle straight down. Hold that position. Yeah, you see how that wants to move away from the center?
Yeah, I want to tilt out.
Cool. Honestly, at this point, twos, I mean, I learned everything I need to learn about you in the first 2 seconds. We got you. Cool. Kev, there's a lot of abduction happening there. You see how your femur wants to move away from the middle? It like has no choice. Okay, Christina, can I see yours? Beautiful. Okay, and then the other side as well. Test it, see how the other side is as well. Okay, did anyone notice that they have kind of a mirrored or matched problem where the left side was better at one, worse at the other, and then the right side was the exact opposite, better at the opposite, worse at the opposite? Yeah.
That's what I had.
Cool. So that's giving us an indication that the whole pelvis, both sides, you guys can come up now, thank you, are rotated in one direction, okay? So we kind of live our life rotated. Everyone is asymmetrical. We have the left crura inside that's a different size. And so it's very, very common for everyone to have their left hip forward of their right hip, have this rotation, okay? So standing squared up and then, and we make this compensation. I'm gonna be super dramatic so you guys can tell. So we live with this hip forward, okay? But then to even out, our brain is like, well, we need to bring this way. And then our rib cage goes to the left and then our neck comes back to the right. So we're totally crooked like this. And this feels like a natural setting to us because we live in that shape all the time, okay? Again, it's super dramatic, but this is super common. And it's also why a lot of people have pinching in the left hip, can't get deep into their squats on the left side, whatever else. And then there's all these different compensations. And then we have layers of compensations that make it way more problematic. So without going into detail, because there's no way I could go into that depth with each of you, all I want to kind of explain to you is that that pelvic position is the number one important thing for us to move well. And there's one thing that we can do right now to make it better. So let's do it. So grab a foam roller if you have it. If you don't, a pillow is great. And if you don't have anything, that's fine. But what we want to do is just stick it between the thighs and go into just a classic glute bridge position, but not active. So just lie down, put that foam roller pillow between the thighs, gentle right here, okay? If you have like some really heavy pillow, don't use that. Just get comfortable and square things up, okay? So the first thing we have to do is retrain you how to breathe, okay? Everything is core to extremity. When we breathe in, we've got diaphragm and pelvic floor moving together. But if your pelvic floor muscles don't move the way that they're supposed to, which a lot of us have this issue, especially mothers, because babies get in there and say, nope, then we have some compensations, okay? So we want to try to figure out how to get back to our normal settings. So lying down, foam roller there, everyone should be in position, should be relaxed, okay? First thing we're gonna do is figure out how to find our internal oblique and turn our rectus abdominis, our six-pack muscles off. So place your hands on your belly, okay? Place your hands on your belly and try to get your belly to be as relaxed and jelly belly as possible, okay? Just calm breathing at your own pace. For the rest of my breathing cueing, you're all gonna be at your own pace. Breathe into your hands. Make sure that your six-pack is off, is relaxed. There should be a comfortable position for everyone too. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Slowly. Head is relaxed, and all you're doing is trying to get your six-pack muscles off. We're going to layer on things each time. So once you feel like, cool, mastered that, we'll go to the next thing. Inhale through the nose. Exhale audibly through the mouth as if you have a glass in front of your mouth and you're trying to fog it up. Slowly, okay? It doesn't have to be a dramatic, weird sound, not making you uncomfortable with this, but if you can get a little in there, that's actually gonna deactivate some of your neck muscles, and that's a good thing, okay? So exhale slowly at your own pace. Inhale through the nose. As you guys are doing this, your own pace, but the slower you do this, the better, as long as it's not forced, you're super relaxed. I want you to feel your internal obliques kick on towards the very end of your exhale. So if you go exhale, or at the very end, you should feel your side abdominal muscles kick on. They kind of push out. When you feel that, give me a thumbs up. Okay. Aaron, we feel that. Everyone else with the thumbs up, beautiful. Okay. Now for at least a few breaths, find that internal oblique kicks on at the end of your exhale. Maybe you hold empty for a second or two, close your mouth, and then inhale gently through the nose. See if you can keep that internal oblique on as you inhale, and keep your six-pack muscles, your Lego ab muscles, off. So jelly belly, but a little bit of tension on the side of the abs. For some people, this is really hard. So if you feel like you got it and you're not exhaling with your ab muscles, with your six-pack muscles, but rather you are soft jelly belly and you can find your obliques, give me a thumbs up. If you can't, take your time and keep practicing. I see you guys with the thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Twos, you sure?
It's like a spot where you're trying to fully exhale, then your rectus abdominis hits, but then right before that, you feel my obliques. And so it's like
perfect.
trying to find that middle ground.
Beautiful. Okay, that's actually exactly what I was expecting from you. So good job. Keep practicing that. All right, next layer. Keep your feet exactly where they are, but now get intentional with your feet. Push through the first met head, which is the ball of the big toe. Okay, not the big toe itself, but the ball of the big toe. See if you can do that. That in and of itself is going to be tough. Pushing through, I'm sorry, the whole foot, but with tension and pressure through that ball of the big toe. So keep your heel down. Okay, the entire foot. You want to think about that tripod that everyone talks about, essentially just the base of the foot, that whole triangular minus the toes, right? Push through. Now pull back gently as if to pull your heels to your butt and pull your butt to your heels. If you pull back with any kind of effort, I actually should see your pelvis move towards your heels a tiny bit, right? Beautiful. When you guys did this, give me a thumbs up if your pelvis went into arched sexy butt back. Did you arch your low back when you did that? Twos is telling the truth. Okay, that's awesome. So that's exactly the opposite of what we want. I am really happy that you're telling the truth, Twos. What we want is a posterior tilt, or that grandpa butt, tucking your pelvis underneath, okay? So you're gonna pull back with your heels and you're gonna get your pelvis to tuck under, as if to pull your tailbone up and off the ground and the front of your hips down and in towards your belly button. Does my verbal cueing make sense to everyone? All right, cool. So this is the next layer. We're almost there. Thank you for taking it easy and going slow. I want to make sure that you can energetically engage your hamstrings by pushing down into the floor and pulling your heels back towards your butt. Once you feel your hamstrings on, it doesn't have to be like an effort. It's just, okay, they're working, they're on. I feel that activation. Then I want that pelvis to be pulled under, as if you're just very slowly peeling your tailbone off the ground, like it's Velcro and it's just one end coming up. And once you have that, make sure you are breathing correctly. Jelly belly, no six pack, obliques only. For anyone that likes to work out, try less. Don't do so much. Fucking relax. Hamstrings, obliques. If your six pack muscles are turning on, then undo the hamstring thing, relax your stomach, and just very gently engage the hamstrings. This is the dissociation that we're working on, is getting your brain to stop saying, oh, pelvis needs to be tucked, turn on the abs. This is the problem. Cool. So Gwen, I think you're probably having a little bit of trouble with that. That's okay. But I see it. It's okay. It's okay. Is anyone else having trouble with it? Twos, you might be having trouble, or maybe you figured it out.
I figured it out mostly, but when I'm trying to tilt my pelvis, back and up, it's hard to turn off the rectus.
Yep, totally. Adam, how are you doing? You doing a good job? Adam's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any posterior compression. I'm good, man. Good. All right, cool. For any of you that feel like you totally got it, the exhale, got the obliques kicked on, you can close your mouth, gentle inhale through the nose. You should feel like your rib cage and upper body is expanding broader and bigger like a barrel than it normally does while you're going through that breath. So exhale, obliques kick on, inhale through the nose, big, broad expansion, 360 degrees, out the back, out the sides. This feels like you're bringing more air into places that you don't normally. You should be cooking your hamstrings a little bit as you're in this position as well. And if you go through 5 full breath cycles, then I'm going to have you retest all those positions. Okay. Go in 2s. We're going to troubleshoot you, but I don't want to be all over the place with everyone else. So we'll do it in a second. Okay. But just keep your hips down, try to relax, do less. Worry less about pelvic position, more about controlling the breath. And that's by you doing less. So just super relaxed, jelly belly. All right, beautiful. If you've all got what I had you go through, then let's retest. So straighten your legs, move that foam roller away, and let's start with the active straight leg raise on the left, okay? Everyone's gonna retest. 2s, we can just retest because I'll be troubleshooting you as well. All right, same as before. Let's just go for sensational right now. I'm gonna watch you guys go very slowly. Start with your left leg straight, raise it up to the ceiling. Go slow, see how it feels. Christina, that's better, but make sure that the right foot stays toe to the sky from the beginning, because that's gonna be an indication for you if it starts to roll out. Kevin, how we doing? Any better? Beautiful. Gwen, notice anything sensationally different there? I'd believe a yes or a no from you right now. Twos, you got any discomfort there?
Not as much.
Cool. So we got improvement. All right, beautiful. Jeff, how are you doing?
I might be at the max of what I can handle.
Okay, you listen to it.
Yeah.
Take your time.
I have an ice pack. I'm laying on right now.
Oh man, I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's not your fault. I think I'm just not good at stopping when I should.
Well, okay. Here's your response. Here's your feedback. Stop. Aaron, how are we doing? Any improvement? Any difference?
Yeah, much more limber.
Cool. Okay. Christina, did you
Yeah.
notice anything? Anything sensationally different?
Not really, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. Your right side got worse.
Oh, perfect.
Yep, it's okay. It's okay. All right, cool. So this is also where everyone's a little bit different, and this doesn't work for everybody because this is addressing one problem specifically, right? And if we turn something on that should have been turned off, whatever else. But for most of us, this is going to help a ton. And regardless, I want you guys to understand how to control the breath. That's the main intention of tonight. All right, so Gwen and twos, and then anyone else that wants to join along. What we're going to do is basically regress you. So from the very beginning, we could see both of you guys, and I'm not attacking you. Look, this is like a dynamic thing. It changes for everyone all the time, and you know, don't worry about it. But when we started, the biggest indication of your limitations was when you lifted this leg, the other leg was like, nope, off the ground, right? Which is essentially that it doesn't have hip extension. So if we don't have hip extension, we probably also don't have hip flexion. So we're just going to get into a better position that requires less of it, which is going to be this, okay? So your feet need to get onto a wall at about 90 degrees, and we're going to do the exact same thing. But from the jump, this is going to help you relax the six-pack muscles, okay? So get up against a wall, and then if you would, take your socks off because you're going to slide down the wall if you have socks on, okay? All right, sweet. Everyone else, retest your internal and external rotation from before, or join us on the wall because this will help pretty much everyone as well. We're gonna retest it anyway, but if you want to test, go ahead. Christina, I would get up against the wall and try this. Okay, cool. Make sure you're at 90 degrees or less, not more. So make sure that your hips, yeah, 2s, you're good. Glenn, I would just push back from the wall a little bit. Yep, and then maybe lift those legs a little higher. Okay, if you have a foam roller, stick it between the thighs just to give you that good balance. Okay. 2s, you can probably back your butt up just a couple, like an inch. Okay, it's the same thing. First, get the breath. Okay, first get the breath. Aaron, I would go a little higher up if you can on the wall and a little closer. Okay, just a tiny bit. That's good, that's good. Perfect. All right, make sure toes are pointed straight up to the ceiling and then get pressure through the entirety, the base of your foot. So first met head, heel, and then outside edge of your foot. Cool. You're not squeezing the foam roller. It's just basically keeping you at the right separation between the hips. All right. From here, it's the same deal. We want to push into the wall a tiny bit. Don't be aggressive. Don't be an athlete. We're not working out. We're trying to get positions. And then very slowly, imagine dragging your heels down the wall. They're not actually going to move, but just energetically push down into the wall as if to pull your heels down the wall. And you should feel your hamstrings. We're going to try to get your hamstrings sensationally engaged a little closer to the glutes rather than up by the knees. If you feel up by the knees, that's okay. Let's just get the hamstrings going, okay? Digging into the heels, keeping that whole foot down. And we're just gonna go through that breath. And specifically, I'm gonna troubleshoot Gwen right now. Gwen, can you give me a thumbs up when you feel like you're able to turn your six-pack muscles off? For this, Glenn, let your chest be kind of up rather than crunched down, right? Don't arch, but just no need to crunch, right? Keep your head heavy on the floor and then just totally melt and relax. If you need to disengage everything, that's cool. And that breath is really gonna help you. So that, getting that whole front side to relax. And then when you breathe in through the nose, tongue is on the roof of your mouth. And we're just thinking about basically getting fat, get barreled out, right? Bring breath 360 degrees into your torso. Go through 3 full breath cycles, trying to exhale, get the internal obliques on. Inhale. Do your best to keep them on, keep your abs soft. And as you're going through that, just a little energetic pull down on the wall and a small lift of the hips, but only because you're dragging your heels, not because you're engaging your abs. All right, cool. Everyone else that's waiting, let's test your internal and external rotation. 2s and Glenn, just stay on the wall there. Aaron, you can stay too if you want to. But let's go back to internal and external rotation. So knee to chest, and then you're gonna rotate that femur in its hip socket. Ankle goes out, ankle comes in. Sweet. Christina, make sure that your side body isn't crunching into it either. I don't think it is, but just make sure. So you're not like lifting your hip up closer to your rib. Yeah. And then let's see the other side. Nice. That's pretty evenly matched. Maybe a little bit more stiff on the right. And then let's see external rotation, same thing. Okay. And then on the right side. Oh, there's a little bit of abduction happening. That side wants to move out away from the middle, right? You see that? Cool. Yeah. Gwen, 2s, you guys figure it out? Awesome, retest your stuff. So move away, lie down. Let's just look at active straight leg raise for you guys. Okay. Does anyone have any like outliers or confusion on this thus far where it's like, something happened that we want to discuss?
I feel like both my internal rotations got better, but my external rotations kind of stayed the same.
Cool. Okay, that's good to know. Hold on, I'm just watching Glenn. How do we feel, Glenn? Any different? Twos, you look way better.
Yeah, a little bit. I know I'm
Okay,
wicked
cool.
tight in my hips, like I've always been. And so I feel like that makes me turn on my abs and then want to muscle my.
Totally.
Like-
Yes. Okay, cool. So look, the whole point of all this, guys and gals, thank you for your patience. This is just such an important seed to plant, I think, because nobody teaches us this. I mean, I've been in the industry for literally over a decade and I've never seen this once. So I feel it's imperative to teach you. Your hips, your like whole hips, right? Your innominate bones, if you guys could imagine what these bones look like. You guys can imagine this? We know enough anatomy to get this? You're all just staring at me. Hello. Okay. When you go through, let's say gait, or even let's make it even more tangible, like a squat, right? We all think about, like, depending on our background, we all think about the hip flexion, the knee to chest aspect, and the knees going out or whatever else, and the ankle dorsiflexion, and blah, blah, blah. But the first most important thing is that your hips actually need to do something called nutate and counter nutate, right? They need to move out and in like this, like side to side. They need to open the top and they need to close the top. And if they don't, then our femurs, our thigh bones, get crammed in their sockets and they have nowhere to go. So you lack the rotation that is necessary and you lack the movement that is necessary. Does that make sense? So tons of our problems actually come from your innominate bones, your hip bones, not being able to do this. And they also do that when we walk. They go through this subtle opening and closing and opening and closing through the gait cycle. This is really important for all of you guys, because if they're not doing that, then you're doing everything else possible to make those shapes happen, which means some of the team is out to lunch and some of the team is really, really, really working, okay? I don't care for football. You don't have to care for football, but just imagine this, right? Let's just take the offensive linemen, the big blockers, and just have them sit down, okay? And the quarterback and the running back are just trying to do everything. They're gonna get hurt for sure, right? Like they're gonna get hurt. That's what happens. We take a whole slew of muscles that are supposed to be doing stuff. We tell them, it's okay, you don't have to do anything. And then we pick up the slack with our erectors or something else. And we're like, I don't know why my back hurts all the time. Must be CrossFit. No, it's you and it's your mechanics. Let's fix them, okay? The reason your hip bones don't move out and in like that is because of this. There's so much posterior compression down here that locks those things in. And every single one of us, and I have theories on this that have not been proven, but I'm positive, because we live in shoes like this, and we're constantly falling forward. Our brain is sensing that we're falling forward because of our shoes. Okay, I know this is crazy. I sound like a tin hat guy, but just bear with me. That's gonna put our pelvis into anterior tilt. And so something's gonna have to stop us from falling forward. We're gonna put on the brakes with these deep butt muscles and pull those back. So we either get a pelvis that's forward like this, and then we look like these people who are rounded in the upper back with their pelvis super far forward, okay? Obviously I'm being dramatic. Or we look like Instagram girls and we're like this, okay? Regardless, these muscles are super tonic, overactive, hard, and so are these in here, okay? Which doesn't actually allow us to get the proper movements that we need. If we're in some capacity vain, that means you're not building your butt muscles the way you want to. And if we're just worried about mechanics and safety, that means our low back is hurting, right? And we have all these other hip impingement, et cetera, issues. So this stuff is super important. And just getting the breathing down that I showed you tonight is the number one important thing, okay? Is that fair? Does everyone understand?
Breathing and no longer wearing shoes, go around everywhere barefoot.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Totally. And if you want 30% off Vivo barefoot shoes, I can get it for you. And I don't make, there's no like, I don't have an affiliate with them. I just have a code. I don't make money. If you want them, you can have them. Okay. Fair, makes sense. Also, wearing those shoes is not going to solve your problem. You have to learn how to breathe. You have to get those muscles turned on. You have to get the other ones turned off. Okay, cool. So everything else that we do is just going to be solving symptomatic problems, not root causes. We have to tie in those internal obliques and turn off the rectus. If you feel like you have no problems with this, then don't stress it. That's fine. I'm not trying to create a problem from nothing, right? So if like you don't have back issues or hip issues or whatever else, and you just were with me and you're like, I didn't really see much change. Great, I'm happy. I'm happy for you. Let's keep it that way, but I still want you to understand how that all works. Cool? Okay, we have a couple minutes. I don't want to try to take us through the ankle cars and hip cars and all that stuff. I'll put it in, it'll be in programming for you anyway, so you'll be walked through me on recording. But does anyone have anything they want to discuss or any like specific mobility things that they want to troubleshoot?
Yeah, I can ask a question.
Yeah.
So with like planks and push-ups, I feel a lot of pressure in the palm right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like sort of balance that out, maybe it's in the wrist. Just sort
Totally.
of like, how can I be addressing that?
Great question. Many of us will have this. Two parts. One, it's shoulder mechanics. So we'll talk about that next time. It's kind of the same thing that I just taught you about the hips, but up in the shoulders. There's lack of scapular movement, which causes tension through the line. But another common thing is just think about all the gym movements that we ever do. We're constantly gripping and grabbing and making the bottom side of our forearm stronger. The only time we ever go into extension is passive, not active, like a push-up, right? Putting our hands on something flat like this, but very rarely are we actively firing these muscles. If you can imagine like those top of the forearm grip machine things, that in and of itself will help you. So if you grab a very light weight and rest it on your knee, do some of these motorcycles, that will start to help. You can also distract the wrist with a band. And that's something that I can drop a link in for anyone who has wrist discomfort. Cool. That's not going to go away in 2 seconds, but that's at least you understand. You can start to work towards making it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's one of my first problems that I had at the beginning, and it took me a while.
Yeah. I don't even think I remember that, but common. Cool. Anything else we want to chat about, ask questions on? Doesn't have to even be involved with this specific stuff. It could be anything about your experience in this challenge in-house.
Hey, coach, what's the best way to make my hips more flexible in general? Is there like one specific stretch that helps that?
Let's go back. Where do we want more flexibility in the hip?
I feel like in past years at CrossFit, I could squat right to the floor and not have trouble like keeping my back up and keeping my hips in the right spot. And since I've been out of kind of CrossFit shape, I've lost that ability.
Cool. So what I watched in your tests, I didn't quite see super well, but it looked like you were moving decently fluidly with all of those positions. Can I see your squat?
Sure.
Will you show me your squat, Adam? Let me see your spot.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Pretty good, Adam. Come back up. Keep your hands down. Let me see you from behind. Okay. Let me see one more from the side.
Okay.
Sweet. Adam, are you better at cardiovascular endeavors or strength and power?
Cardio.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Cool.
I may not
So-
look like it right now, but yes.
I would answer that the opposite way.
No,
I would believe
I have a
you.
lot of trouble with my core muscles, like heavy squats and stuff like that. I've never been able to do really heavy stuff.
Totally. I would believe you because you present as a narrow, which means basically there's two archetypes of rib cage, narrow and wide. Wide is going to be like power just comes naturally. Narrow is going to be like running is easy, right? That's so overview. There's so much more nuance to it. But my point is your squat is actually phenomenal. You have a little bit of posterior compression. So the test that we were just doing, whatever you were testing as, you were cheating something. We weren't seeing it. We have to look at it a little. That's fine, right? I'm not like calling you out for it, but something was going on where you were being stubborn about it and not letting it actually see where you're at. So going through the same thing that we just did is actually going to help you a ton, because you can see your squat's great. You don't have any hip shift. You have a little of that butt wink as we come down. So that's just telling me that you're lacking true hip flexion with knee to chest. Okay. And of course, getting better ankle mobility is going to help too. My best suggestion is do the strength and mechanics program, because that will all be kind of accommodated for. Everything that I programmed for you guys in there is like mobility work disguised as strength training. So if you do it the right way, it's going to be improving all these things.
Okay.
Cool. Short answer is hip flexion needs to be worked on. And you're not going to be able to work on it unless you take care of that deep posterior compression. If you're not figuring out with the breathing exercises, stick this deep into your glute, where like your femur turns into your glute, right? Sit on this thing, get deep in there, breathe on it, relax into it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Anything else? Amazing. Next time we won't play this weird music. That felt really weird for me the whole time. All right. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming live, friends. I appreciate it. If there's anything else that you guys want to go through next time, we will. I will be in California with my brother and sister, and I will have them on camera on Tuesday evening, TBD on timing. So you guys can vote what time you want for that, but we'll go through shoulders and I'll be able to show you on someone what's actually going on. Cool?
Yep.
Okay. Hit your macros, do your workouts, get your sleep, get your water.
Thanks, Gunter.
I'll talk
Bye.
to you guys soon. You're
Bye, guys.
welcome.
Thanks.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.